What is up, everybody? Ninja Nick here with Tactical Gaming, bringing you guys another video on Hasan. This one, Hasan is actually terrified now. I'm so curious on to why. Could it be because maybe he got a letter from somebody that, he's been shouldn't have getting a letter from for a long time? Maybe someone showed up at his door and wanted to ask him some questions? Doubtful. Guaranteed it's just more talking of him in the internet and on actual news stations and coming out of actual like senators and governors and stuff like that, which is very interesting that now that people are actually bringing it to light after like a whole bunch of slop tubers like freaking me, more Pegasus, and so many other people actually have been saying shit about this dude for a long time, and now they're actually saying some stuff. But before we fully get into this, make sure you guys check out w.gg and use my code TacticalGaming90 and get 10% off. W is a little company that helps out smaller creators. They're an energy drink supplement company, much like Gamer Fuel and all those other ones. They've been around for over 5 years, 15 flavors, and, all that other good stuff. Go check them out. Use my code, and, help me out in the process. Let's get into this and let's see what happens.
So apocalyptic. Even the zombies subscribed. In today's video, Hasan is back and he is crashing out after everybody is trying to get him arrested following the Trump shooting. He had a 30-minute crash out and went through every single ultimate, from trans people to Israel to Ethan to Destiny, trying to desperately shift blame onto everybody else. He's now calling all liberals idiots for daring to criticize him. He then compares the government to Nazi Germany, saying they are going after him, trying to put him in a concentration camp.
See you in the goddamn concentration camps. All right, buddy? We're all going there. If you don't, lock the in.
Bro has lost it. He tries to fearmonger, saying that liberals should start supporting him because after Hasan gets locked up, they are next. Bro, you're the only one with the murder clips. Asmongold has responded, talking about how assassination culture is going to lead to mass surveillance and a dystopian society. Hasan has responded to his New York.
So there's some movies that I grew up watching in the like 90s, right? So you have the old school movies like Running Man, or like freaking the ones from Escape from New York or Escape from Los Angeles, or god, there was another one it just escaped my brain. But basically the whole premise is basically one side. So in one type of movie, oh, the Hunger Games, there's another one. So the Hunger Games and the escape movies, right? LA and New York, right? So in those ones, the premise basically is, so with the escape movies, if the right wing Christian God fearing people like heavy duty gain full control, anyone who doesn't believe in God, country, loyalty, liberty, and like be like gung ho pray, all this other kind of stuff, in general, they're gonna see you as an outlaw. If you break the law, you get excommunicado out of society. Now, they have two major prisons, and they're both states, technically, or, well, cities. So, one would be New York. The whole city's cordoned off and surrounded by walls and guards and all this other kind of shit. And then, same thing with Los Angeles, except Los Angeles, a crazy earthquake happened and broke it off and made it an island. So, the refuse of people get sent there too. And they have, boats that surround and keep an eye out, and anyone who tries to leave, vaporized. So there's that. And or you have the dystopian future where people like in the left gain control. That's the Hunger Games, where you have one group of people, such as anyone who's a lefty liberal, gets to live in high society and live, nice and happy, while everyone else gets to be basically a slave. That's literally what's going to happen. And then they're going to literally have their own version of the Hunger Games because of the movie. And of course, they're going to go, ha, that'd be funny. And either they'd probably call it the Hunger Games or do something else along the lines. and just go from there. So, like, movies are a good premise to show you like how human society kind of technically is, because it gives you a good grip and view, especially when it comes to movies kind of like that, where it's more based in actual reality and not so much fantasy, because that kind of stuff could happen. Don't know what I mean? Check out those movies, like Hunger Games. Everyone knows, but like Escape from Los Angeles, Escape from New York, like those types of movies. Running Man, right? Total Recall. That's another one. Total Recall. But yeah,
York Times interview where he justifies
which is
murder.
funny
He
because he
claims the
wants a dystopian
backlash
future kind
is
of like that.
simply people suffering from Hasan derangement syndrome. He tries
So
to
funny.
walk back his statements, saying that he was just joking about stealing, and then proceeds to
He was
double
not.
down on why stealing is actually good. Can't make this shit up. Subscribe to experience the full consciousness of the universe. The true relation you can only get through the legendary series. It's big.
Let's up those numbers!
Now let's begin. Right, so Hasan is back and is absolutely crashing out after everyone is trying to cancel him and get him arrested following the
funny.
Trump shooting.
So
Now, quick
funny.
recap, there was another shooting
Oh my
at the
God.
White House Correspondents' Dinner. A 31-year-old California teacher, Cole Allen, tried to assassinate Trump and failed. Now, we also got some additional information. Apparently, they were a Kamala Harris supporter and a Blue Sky user, which is like lefty Twitter, I guess. But no direct evidence. It's a Hasan fan, of course. The snake slithers by again. But maybe not, because the entirety of Twitter, including actual politicians, are campaigning to get Hasan arrested.
Oh,
Especially
yes.
after his "somebody needs to do it" clip talking about assassinating Trump and his general rhetoric supporting political violence. So he has
Well, yeah.
responded
He's been
with
talking
a
about it for
30-minute
years.
crash out.
Just joined. Are they actually blaming you for this one? I can't believe these people. Yeah, I'm officially Trantifa, okay? Transgender Antifa. Because in
What?
the aftermath of any like attempted shootings, school shootings and the like, they would always say, oh, it's a transgender Antifa that's responsible for this violence without any actual evidence whatsoever. And I'll take it. I'll take it for you guys on the chin.
Wrong. Actually, they sit there and don't say shit, especially if it is a transgender person. If it's anyone other, such as a white kid who's like right wing or some shit, they're instantly to say, "Oh, right wing, white kid started killing students." If it's a transgender, oh hell no, they're very silent on who did it.
Okay, I am officially
Every
the
time.
new transgender Antifa,
Dude.
Transtifa. The
Dude.
entire right wing is inside of my ass right now. Okay, they are inside of my ass, digging it out. Let's be real. They have been using this to blame me. And it's not just the right wingers as well. It's also people like this, like Clintonites, like right wing Democrats as well.
Of course, it's
So
the right-wing
stupid.
Democrats,
So
guys. You know, it's
stupid.
the tall, short people. It's the fat, thin people that are actually after me. Don't you understand? It's the Zionist Nazis. Yeah, so basically anyone that Hasan doesn't like is right-wing, including people like Ethan and Destiny. Even if you're literally a Democrat, he will just brand you as a right-wing person to smear you. And I don't know what this new excuse is, the transgender Antifa. I guess
Right.
leave it to Hasan to instantly bring up trans people out of nowhere. Nobody has mentioned trans people in this entire debate at all. But of course, Hasan is going to bring it up to use it as a shield, right?
Yep.
And this is some classic manipulation, because now if you want to criticize the fact that Hasan is encouraging violence, he's trying to tie it to, oh, well, you basically hate LGBT guys. Now, obviously, that makes no sense at
Yeah,
all,
that's
but
funny.
the brave Hasan Parker always hiding behind minorities, right? His entire life. Anyways, he
Brave
decided to
people.
double alt. Then he says it's because of Israel, of course.
Shabbos Kestenbaum. If you're a Democrat, continue to campaign with Hasan.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
killed him, killed those murder motherfuckers in the streets. Those streets, then please shut the f up being pretending Trump is not Hitler, ISIS is not Gestapo, Republicans are not Nazis. Yeah, it's really funny. I have noticed that virtually every single person that's doing this, Hasan is responsible for the shooting, happens to be a propagandist for the state of Israel. Interesting. Very
Oh my
interesting
God.
stuff. I've yet to see a single motherfucker that has been actively saying Hasan is responsible for this, not be a propagandist for Israel. Very strange stuff.
I would say you indirectly are responsible for it. I'm saying that, and I don't give a shit about Israel, to be honest. Like, in my opinion, I think both Israel and, the Muslim people are both wrong and should probably actually talk and communicate instead of sitting there just bombing each other endlessly and kill each other endlessly. But at the same time, you know what? I also believe teach their own. If the two countries want to endlessly fight, that's all. That's really up to them. It's really all up to them. You know what I mean?
Alright, of course. So we are 2 minutes into this crash out, and this guy's already used trans people and Israel. Holy shit, bro. This is like starting a mission and using all your special grenades on the first floor. Save some
Trap
for
card,
later,
trap card,
man.
magic card,
Israel
magic card.
was your ultimate. God damn it. We had to use that for the team fight. He used it on the minions. You just know Hasan is bronze at League of Legends, bro. He don't know ball. I can't believe Israel would do this. Israel after Hasan again. They used up all the milk in his
Oh, God.
fridge. They sabotaged his shock collar so he couldn't shock Kaya. In some occasions, could shock Kaya. Can't believe Israel would do this again.
You could be next.
So then Hasan goes on to say that the rhetoric is actually too calm. It's too chill, right? Despite the fact that there was just an assassination, Hasan goes, no, we need to actually make it worse, right?
Remember when Democrats spokesperson Hasan Piker, who campaigned with Abdullah, called him murder? Rick Scott? Democrats are shamelessly encouraging their base to use violence against conservatives. It's funny because, then there are also fans of the Republican Party that are just like, what are you doing about it? Like, you're not even doing anything about it. They're just tuning up their audience to try to take care of me, I guess. The journalist at the White House Correspondents' Dinner yesterday, do it refers to killing Trump. Yeah, they're also saying Taylor Lorenz is responsible. Are the reports of the shooter supporting the idea verified? No, they're not. It's fake. It's fake news. You can't be like, oh, the left is incredibly violent and dangerous when
What?
one, most of the liberal elected representatives, even left representatives, are pretty chill with their rhetoric. Like, they are
No,
even
they're
too
not.
restrained from my estimations. I think they are
For your
unbelievably
estimations?
restrained for the most part.
Right, so according to Hasan, this is showing restraint. Assassinations are apparently restrained. So I wonder, what is the bad shit then, right? Hasan goes, no, your rhetoric is actually too mild. You need to be
Right.
like me and explicitly call for murder, right? Also,
It
I
sounds
don't know
like it.
how this guy has the audacity to say this after there were thousands and thousands of people openly celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. The people on the radical ends of these politics are obviously not restrained at all. They're completely
Right,
unhinged
exactly.
lunatics. And somebody commented this in my comment sections, but the way they get around the free speech thing is they say stuff like Nazis need to be shot, which is free speech, right? Then they say this person is a Nazi, which is also free speech. And then the translation is obviously X person needs to be shot, but you never actually say that. People just sort of implicitly connect the dots here, right? And you just repeat the first two lines, and the third is basically implied. Now, there are exceptions like Hasan, who are complete fucking morons and actually do just say it out loud, right? The K. Rick Scott type shit.
If you
Yep.
cared about Medicare fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott.
But a lot of his peers will do this other thing of oh yeah, let's use the Nazi tactic, right? And I love his chatter is just asking him always the Israel related things. Surely the shooter is somehow related to Israel. Please, I need this to be Israel. Otherwise I can't sleep at night right now. How is your
dumb.
life so one topic, man? Holy shit. They probably lose it at video game and then slam the PS5 going yeah, fucking Israel again, huh? Anyways, the ulting continues. After Trance in Israel, he's now saying Ethan and Destiny. He's blaming them. I mean, only a couple more left. Asmongold, Slop Tubers.
Also, while there is this obvious political football taking place between the Republicans trying to blame the entire left and saying, oh, Hasan is the most
Not the
violent
entire
person that's
left,
ever
just the
existed,
ones saying
there are
violent
also
shit.
people who are using this as an opportunity to entertain their favorite content creators' personal grievances, like Ethan Klein, IDF's strongest soldier, Ethan Klein, and his community on Reddit, the Sex Pestiny as well, in his community. They're all using this as an opportunity while
Coming from the dude
presenting
who went to
themselves as
Germany and slept
liberals
with a
and
15-year-old
centrists.
supposedly.
They're also pushing this right-wing line, this right-wing narrative.
I mean, brilliant move. If this was chess, you get that fucking brilliant thing there. So, criticizing Hasan is now officially a right-wing narrative. I mean,
So dumb.
brilliant defense right here. I mean, what the fuck
So
do you
dumb.
even do at that point? Because he's somehow made any criticism at him directed as this like right-wing Israel smear. And obviously he thinks all right-wingers are fascists. He is like the good woke liberals or whatever. I mean, he doesn't even call himself a liberal. He calls himself a fucking
liberals.
radical lefty or whatever. But basically, the moral of the story here is never say anything bad about Hasan or he will brand you as right-wing.
Yep.
Whether it be Ethan, Destiny, anyone, explicit lefties, obviously left-wing people, they are now put in the same bucket as the fascist Nazis. And this is why nobody takes Hasan seriously. He's just explicitly lying. He's just blatantly lying because he wants to discredit his critics. So then he starts crashing out at liberals. He calls everybody idiots, and he says that they're going to put them in concentration camps.
Not realizing that that is going to snap back on them as well. This administration is a fascist administration. They make no distinction between your statements that are anti-Trump as well and my statements. You're an idiot for leaning in to this admin. You're an absolute moron, and you are going to get your comeuppance just like I will, okay? If I'm going to the camps, you're going to be there by my side. I hope you understand that. You're a moron, okay? Lock in. If you are a liberal right now and leaning into this ridiculous narrative, the idea that the left is so violent, oh, this Hasan guy, we got to get him out of here. You're a short-sighted, self-defeating, fascist collaborator who does not understand that they are presenting this as a false frame, a false narrative.
Of course, if you criticize Hasan, you're a fascist collaborator. That's a new one. That's a new buzzword. You're collabing with the fascists. You're doing a sponsored segment right now, bro. Dude, the way he dances around this is so funny. He basically tries to tie any criticism to him to like a million bad causes. It's if you criticize Hasan, you support Israel. If you criticize Hasan, you're homophobic or something. You're right-wing Nazi. It is so pathetic. And this is like an interesting strategy he's using of fear-mongering, right? Basically saying, oh, first they come after me. You know, I'm the leader, Hasan Piker. They first come after me, and then they go after the entire left, right? They put the entire left. They put half the country in concentration camps, right? And the fact of the matter is, this is completely false. Obviously, Hasan is the only one getting arrested because he's the only one with the murder clips, right? The rest of the people are not out there threatening actual violence. I think sane liberals like Ethan will be completely fine here. He basically wants to scare every left-wing person going, you better support me now. You better support Hasan right now, or they're going to arrest me, and then they're going to arrest all of you. But no, you're the only one who threatened murder. You're getting locked up. Now, a couple other people might be getting locked up, like Destiny, for example, who has also threatened this sort of thing.
I'm ready for the great cleansing, dude.
I remember that.
Conservatives in this country.
You gonna be out in the streets with your Glock?
Maybe. I gotta go back to Nebraska and grab it.
But yeah, people like Ethan are probably totally fine. But of course, Hasan wants everybody to believe that this is some apocalyptic event. Trump is 1 second away from locking up every single person. And Hasan is the last bastion, right? He is fucking Hodor from Game of Thrones, right? Holding off the White Walkers or whatever the fuck they were called. Then Hasan crashes out at liberals, calling them very stupid, saying how this is now Nazi Germany. You can't make this shit up. This guy fucking ranting 10 hours a day on a stream. Apparently this is Nazi Germany and they're shutting down his speech. Genuinely ill.
Know your options for
ill.
Never forget how immediately after Charlie Kirk's assassination, Destiny stated that we need conservatives to be afraid of getting killed. When they go to events, the left consistently calls for us to be killed/hurt, and then cheer when we're killed, wake up to where we're at. They're so stupid. They're unbelievably stupid. Right-wingers have been using the Destiny subreddit like a breeding ground to create a narrative that the left is unbelievably violent. These stupid liberals, these self-described stupid liberals who consistently collaborate with the right, by the way, so I don't even think they're actual liberals, they end up giving an opportunity to the right to make a coherent argument, to make a consistent, coherent narrative that's ultimately inconsistent because they're still right-wingers, obviously. It won't stop with me. It won't start with me. It won't stop with me. These
Even
people
though they're
don't
probably
understand
liberal.
it. They think, oh, in the short term, we'll be able to eliminate my cult leader's least favorite content creator. I'll fight this war. This is exactly what happened in Nazi Germany as well. First, they came for the communists. Remember?
I love how you bring up Nazi Germany. And did you not go to Germany to a brothel and sleep supposedly with a 15-year-old girl, Hassan? I mean, you're talking about people in sex cults and stuff, and I mean, you're praising a whole group in religion that actually believes in having sex with minors. Not only that, you went and did that supposed thing with a minor, and I do mean supposedly, because I don't know. Proof is out there, but I don't know. But yeah, still, it's like, are you projecting there, buddy?
This is total mental illness.
Nazi Germany. Okay, first off, Hassan, if this was Nazi Germany,
You wouldn't
do you
even be
think
talking.
you'd be allowed to talk about how
No.
you want to murder all capitalists and
Dude,
landlords?
you
Do you
would have
think
been
you'd be
silenced a
allowed to
long
hint
time
at
ago.
assassinating the president? If this was actually Nazi Germany, you would be in a dungeon for the rest of your life. You wouldn't be allowed to continue to stream. And you know this. You know this is not like Nazi stuff because you are
Nazi
speaking
stuff.
so openly, so freely. You wouldn't be able to stream to a bunch of ridiculous terrorist radicals. This guy keeps fucking having this like alien threat of the Nazis are coming after me. Oh my god.
The
I don't know,
Nazis
man.
are
These are some
coming. The
pansy
Nazis are
Nazis
coming.
if they're letting Hasan get away with all the shit. Like, he's the first person you would go after, right? And you don't even have to be a Nazi to go after Hasan, obviously. Like, any sane person would lock this guy up. And he's such a LARPer. Like, he doesn't believe a word out of his mouth here. He knows it's bullshit. He's purposely exaggerating a bunch so that it riles up his community. Oh my god, we're fighting the Nazis. We're the good guys. And you cannot tell me this guy doesn't have terminal main character syndrome.
Oh, he does.
Really thinks
he does.
everybody is so stupid. He's the only genius in the world. All liberals are dumb. They don't see the master plan, right? Only I, Hasan, master of knowledge itself, reader of 1 million tweets, most educated man alive with his degree from 1944, PhD in bro tips. Only Hasan actually sees what's going on. Everybody's getting duped. We need to give Hasan a prize. The biggest regard in history to ever exist.
Yes.
This is like a greater honor and more rare than the Nobel Peace Prize, right? A bunch of people have won the Nobel Peace Prize, but only one can be the biggest regard in all of human history. And Hasan Piker wins. Like, legitimately, I've never seen it. Have you guys ever seen anyone more ridiculous than this man? It's actually
So far,
crazy.
no.
He's breaking the regard barrier. Totally never seen before. Oh my god. We are witnessing history. So then he gets mad at his chat because they point out that he keeps changing his title and his importance. You know, one day he's a Twitch streamer. One day he's a full-on revolutionary. He's fighting the Nazis. He's fighting Nazi Germany.
Are you just simply a Twitch streamer or a public figure? I think there's a big difference between those two definitions. How do you square that? No, there isn't. A Twitch streamer is a public figure. I've never said I'm not a public figure, but there's a distinction between a public figure and the mother president, okay? There's a distinction between a public figure and the entire right-wing media machine. I am a political commentator. I'm one person. I'm a political commentator with a perspective that's not commonly shared by the overwhelming majority of mainstream anchors. I'm a political commentator who is a public figure that is on the left, that is not within the neat confines of acceptable speech in mainstream news. My point was Hasan
Yeah,
leans
'cause
on
you
I'm just
talk
a
about
Twitch streamer
killing
as a
people.
crutch. What is the point that you're making? Like, what's the argument here? Take some accountability. Is that what you're going to say? Is that your argument? You have the entire right-wing media ecosystem actively trying to foment death against someone like myself.
Oh,
and you're
really?
over here
Where?
being like, take some accountability. Take your medicine, please.
There's just no way. There's no way he's being serious. He
where?
says foment death. Brother, that's you. Play the clip. I don't care how many times we have to play these clips until this fucking guy gets it through his head, bro.
Yeah, kill them. Kill those motherfuckers and murder those motherfuckers in the street. Let the streets soak in their fucking red capitalist bloods, dude.
Apparently, this is not fomenting death, guys. Wow,
So
wow, hilarious.
stupid.
Also, for the record, and I've said this literally
Swear.
50 times, I condemn all violence against Hasan Piker forever, okay? Until the end of time, I think you're a disgusting freak if
Dude
you
should just
engage in
go to
any
prison
political
or
violence, right?
get
I don't
deported.
care if you hate the person, you think they're the worst thing ever. That is not how society should operate on vigilante justice or assassinations or whatever. I think it's disgusting. I think it's a breakdown of society, and that's why I'll always condemn it. Unlike Hasan here, who goes, murder those, like, he's just crazy. He's crazy. He's psychotic, okay? I simply want the law to apply to Hasan Piker. I want the rules to actually apply, whether it be fucking Twitch, TOS, or whatever else.
Right.
I want something to actually be enforced
Which clearly
against
is
this
never going to
nepo
actually
baby
happen.
piece of shit. Nothing more, nothing less. So then Hasan starts completely losing it, saying that he's going to end up in a concentration camp and essentially arrested.
Like, I don't know what to say, man. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? The former deputy director of the FBI is on Fox News literally saying, like, Hasan is the reason why this attempt happened. And you're over here being like, don't cover the news. This is the news. What do you want me to do? See you in the goddamn concentration camps. All right, buddy? We're all going there. If you don't, lock the in.
Hasan Piker, happy as always. He's not miserable, guys.
Oh my
He's flourishing.
God.
This is the happiest man alive. He is thriving. Bro has completely lost it. Lock in, guys. Come on. Come on, my minions, my cockroach bots.
Oh my
Please
God.
assemble and defend me. Please try to ratio all my haters
Why
on
is he
Twitter.
telling his chat
What are you
to lock
doing?
in?
You're not
Shouldn't he,
fighting
like,
hard enough.
lock in?
They're going to lock me up. Bro, he's actually terrified now. He's actually so scared. And that's why he's trying to tie in the entire left with this. He's trying to go that, oh yeah, if they go after me, they're going to go after everybody, which is just not the case, right? He is an individual on his own island here, right? I can't
Oh,
believe
yeah.
he's crying.
He's
Like, this is just the
Epstein of the
consequences
liberal
of your
left
own
people.
actions, bro. He goes, they're going to put me in the camps. I'm going to be Johnny Somali picking cabbages. Yeah, unlucky, Hasan. Maybe you shouldn't have threatened murder, bro. That's a you problem for
Yep.
being psychotic.
And I mean,
So
multiple
then
times.
Hasan
More than once.
finally does one decent thing, and he admits that the shooting is not a false flag after spending an entire day convincing his audience that it is a false flag, and his entire comment section echoing this sentiment.
You know, I'm going to always be honest with you. Yeah, I think the likelihood that, you know, a Kamala supporting blue sky centrist liberal was actually tapped by the president so that he could, you know, do a psyop, a fake false flag attack, so he could try to boost his approval ratings and then simultaneously justify building the ballroom and maybe even potentially justify crackdowns on leftist thought, leftist speech is a little silly in comparison to the likelihood that this dude just snapped in one of the most violent countries on the planet with access to an arsenal of weapons and
my
wanted to take
God.
matters into his own hands. I think that it's a little bit of a stretch. Having
Yeah,
said that,
blame
will I get in the
America
way
for,
of the
people's
unbelievable
stupid-ass
amount of conspiracy?
retardation.
Well, sucks to suck, Republicans. You built your bed, now sleep in it.
Wow, Hasan Piker being honest for the first time in his damn life. He finally admitted that it's probably not a false flag. The clearly left-wing guy who hates the current right-wing president actually tried to kill him. Wow, this is so far-fetched, guys. This is so far-fetched. I mean, I guess respect for actually admitting that to your moronically lobotomized audience who
Right.
is spamming, like completely spamming. Every single comment on that last video was that it's a false flag, right? There was literally a comment saying, when I say false, you say flag. I mean, you might actually get canceled for this, for not supporting the theories. Also, side note, what is the deal with Kaya, bro? Like, why does she have that light on her? Doesn't she need, like, darkness to sleep or something? Is this a Mr. Beast challenge where the lights are always on and you got that fucking psychological torture there so you can film her for content? Make sure your audience, always can see her? Surely that's gotta be annoying, right? I don't know, I'm just guessing. Maybe it's like a heat warmer thing? Is that like a legit thing? I have no idea. But, like, damn, dude, let her sleep. By the way, just to show how much of a LARPer Hasan is, this was him just like a while back.
Will you get an updated Zintin? Yeah, instead of this fight Zintin, I need to get a new one that is updated for this new attempted, possibly fake shooting.
Cole Thomas Allen.
Possibly fake shooting. Wow, okay. And now he admits that, well, actually, I don't even think that. I logically think that it is probably very real, right? After literally sending your entire audience into a frenzy and perpetuating these conspiracy theories, you're just not a responsible person. You say that you're trying to report the truth. You never do.
So
you're a piece of
ridiculous.
shit. You're always trying to do propaganda. The truth is damaging to your agenda. Right, here we are in the makeshift black hole, the Hasan Piker comment section. No, Hasan, we are Trantifa. This is referring to the Trans Antifa thing. Be safe,
God.
Commander Piker. Brother, you're 13 years old. You guys are not revolutionaries.
Commander Piker.
What the hell? Charlie Kirk has been strangely quiet on this attempted assassination. You guys are like
Dicks.
really disgusting, like super vile people, man. Like, what kind of a comment even is this? It's really shameful. I'm getting really tired of social commentators being treated with more scrutiny than the most powerful people on the planet. You think Hasan Piker is treated with more scrutiny than Donald Trump? Are you fucking stupid or something? Like, the amount of
Trump is
copium, bro.
scrutinized
You're
by
just mad that
everybody
your
every
goat
day.
is washed. People think that the left has a leader demonstrates their absolute lack of understanding of what the left is. Are you implying that Hasan is the leader of the left? Are you fucking kidding me? The new Trantifa
Yeah.
commander. Most of the internet says it's a false flag anyway. Bro,
Oh my
your
God.
goat
Oh my
admitted it's
God.
not a false flag. Like, you have to give some level of justification for it. This is genuinely insufferable. Like, I know people are just gonna say whatever, but it's like, what pisses me off is like, there's no logic behind it at all. It's just say whatever you want for the agenda, right? It's like nobody bothers to look at the evidence or research into the story at all for even 5 minutes, or they do and they ignore it anyways, which is like sort of more likely here. Even
Yeah.
Hasan admits that he knows it's not a false flag, but he purposely perpetuates the story because he knows it's beneficial, right? Me looking at Kaya for 23 minutes. Were you waiting for Hasan to shock her? It's a shame that a Twitch streamer has more morality and honor than most of the politicians in office. Morality and honor?
Do you even have
That's
your
so
balls
stupid.
remaining, or did a fucking IED explode them for you, dumbass? Shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
Are
that dude
you
has so
fucking,
much
were you
morality
dropped
and
as
honor.
a child?
So
Hasan
much.
is a mother flipping tank, absorbing all the attacks from their DPS
Oh my
and
God.
giving our low level players get in some heals. Gotta back him up while he's taking the aggro.
So dumb.
Yeah, this is hilarious that you're talking in gamer speak. You know what he thinks about gamers, right? He thinks you're a loser incel. Also,
Yeah.
don't call him a tank because that's basically calling him fat, and you know what happens when you call Hasan fat. They
He gets
coordinate
angry.
using messaging apps for outrage messaging. They are paid propagandists. Hasan is a free propagandist, admittedly.
I'm a propagandist.
Well, no.
For the record.
I'm not calling
I'm a
you that. I'm just
propagandist.
Divided we fall. When Hasan calls every liberal a fucking idiot, he goes, and then his fan base goes, "Why aren't the liberals supporting me?" Like, bro. Anyways, Asman responded talking about how assassination culture will eventually lead to mass surveillance.
Yes.
Asman predicts a Minority Report China-like
Don't forget what
speedrun
Obama
for the
did.
U.S. if assassination culture continues without government intervention.
Anyway, I'm so tired of everything being locked up in stores. Yes. Can you imagine if everything is locked up, period? Like your entire world is locked up. Like whenever you go to certain websites, you get warnings. Whenever you do something or you make a post on the internet, you have people coming to your house to do like wellness checks on you. Can you imagine, if you're driving in a way that's erratic, it's being
Yep.
sent to a corollary database that, like aggregates every single piece of data that they've, extracted and exhumed from your body. And then they're using this to create a risk score so they can minority report you into prison before you do anything wrong or before you do anything. That is
Right.
the result of assassination culture.
Yes.
That is the final action of it. And if you want my most conspiracy brain take, it's not that Trump let this happen for the ballroom. It's that the government has been allowing these tensions to rise so they can allow an age of surveillance and control that has never been thought of. And this will be more surveillance, more control, more oppression than any other government and any other time in the world. It will.
Uh-huh.
And if this keeps up,
Oh, yeah.
guarantee it.
Yep.
That's what's going to happen.
I totally agree on that.
You are speed running China.
Right, so
Oh, it's gonna
basically
be
he's
worse
saying
in
that
China.
society is going to become like Detroit Become Human, right? Where you have like a risk level. It's going to become like that anime Psychopaths. I don't know if you guys have watched that goated anime where you basically have like this hue level and it's your stress level and like a bunch of other things. And there's like a AI overlord that anticipates if you're going to commit a crime and then it fucking cooks you before you even have the opportunity to do that, right? You're just branded a criminal based on your stress levels and shit like that. And obviously there's a bunch of problems with it. It doesn't work all the time. There are a bunch of like anomalies who are unaffected and they go on like mass murders and shit. But yeah, I really feel like assassinations give the perfect excuse to execute on mass tyranny, right? Ironically,
yes.
exactly what Hasan is complaining about. The Nazis putting you in concentration camps. And yeah, exactly what he's doing will lead to that, right? Lead to the new Nazis. Because obviously this is nothing yet, right? Otherwise, Hasan would be in prison already. If you just paid attention in Hollywood, you would always know this was coming. Art imitates life, life imitates art always.
Yep.
Right, so Hasan has now officially responded to
Demolition
his
Man.
interview that is getting him canceled absolutely everywhere, where he justifies robbery and murder. Hasan proclaims peak Hasanabi derangement syndrome. Of course. Everyone is just crazy. Everyone is just deranged. He's done nothing wrong.
These comments keep you out of the news cycle, then I'm happy. No, the problem is we've officially reached peak Hasanabi derangement syndrome, which
Oh my God.
means that everything that I say on this broadcast as
Ridiculous,
a fucking
dude.
joke will be used against me, against everyone, against your grandmas, okay, against everybody. Like anything that I say on any podcast appearance or on this broadcast will and can be used against me. It's official. We are now full blown in Hasanabi derangement syndrome in mainstream news. We went from
Dude, so
Hasanabi
full of
derangement
himself.
syndrome in like the commentary sphere, and right as the commentary sphere had started shifting in the way that they perceive me, okay, we moved on. Right as the commentary sphere was like, yeah, maybe this guy's not the fucking evil psycho that we presented him as.
This dude has literally called for the death of like capitalists, landlords, sitting senators, and shit like that, right? And these people just want this guy to get arrested or deported, and he is just upset. It's like, bro, you clearly aren't seeing the bigger picture here, man, and not understanding.
We turned around and now the entirety of the fucking mainstream is doing it. This is from the National Review, by the way. Hasan Piker is the enemy. When I dared do another podcast, this time the New York Times Opinions
When you talked
podcast.
about you were totally for murder and fucking
you know, I had some
theft.
takes on the ethics of theft, whether I care for it or not.
Theft is
I
theft.
cracked
It's
some
bad.
jokes, which was, of course, unacceptable.
Theft is inexcusable.
It's just Hasanabi derangement
inexcusable.
syndrome. People are just nuts, guys.
There's food
Why could they
banks,
possibly
soup
hate me? I have no
kitchens,
idea, guys.
like,
It's not like I'm a
governmental aid,
popular
there's so
live
much.
streamer who says the most unhinged shit humanity has ever heard. Also, what is this complete fan fiction this guy made up? He says, oh, the commentary sphere was shifting about Hasan. Excuse me, who the fuck? Like, we're on episode 300, buddy. Like, we didn't stop. We're not slowing down at all.
Right.
I mean, maybe it's because I took one day off because of my swollen gums. Bro thought I'm done. Bro thought it's over, right? I left for one day and he's like, they're done. They're done. They've stopped talking about me. I have won.
Nope.
No. We got plenty more where that came from, all right? This series is crossing One Piece.
Oh,
Also,
God.
keep in mind what he said. He said, I just cracked some jokes, right? This is going to be his new cope this video. He says that he was joking. You don't get it. When he said that he was
just
okay with people
joke.
committing
I
crimes
was
and stealing
joking.
and robbing banks and justifying murder, it was
Oh, it
all
was
joke,
satire.
right? He was actually kidding about the capitalists as well. He was kidding about Rick Scott. He was kidding about the death threat on Twitter. He's a jokester. You just don't get his humor. He's a real comedian.
Would you steal a book from the library?
Never.
No.
Would you steal from the Louvre?
Yes.
I would not be logistically capable of executing such a fact, but would I cheer on every news story of people that I see doing it? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's cool. We gotta get back to cool crimes like that, like bank robberies, right?
Like, what the fuck?
Stealing priceless
Like, what
artifacts,
the fuck, dude?
things of that nature. I feel like that's way cooler than the
just
7,000th
smile.
new cryptocurrency scheme that people are engaging in. Like
He just
this was
smiles.
endlessly discussed.
dumb.
It's so obvious that I'm f***ing joking. It is unbelievable.
Y- you
I'm the
were not
socialist
joking.
Ayatollah,
You
and
were not
every
joking.
word that comes out of my mouth, these motherfuckers centrists and the right wingers, they treat it like I'm the socialist Ayatollah. I'm the Ayatollah of woke socialism. And I'm delivering another hadith, a fatwa. I'm delivering a fatwa. Everyone needs to interpret everything I'm saying.
It's so funny for someone who says he's not a Muslim, as in he's not in the religion. He uses a lot of their words and rhetoric. It's kind of funny, right?
Seriously. To that, I always have to go back to and say,
Legalize comedy.
Oh,
Dude, you weren't
okay,
joking.
of course.
Don't
so
even.
It was a joke, guys. So the statement that he made, completely in line, 100% with his ideology. The statement that he made,
He wants
that
just
he's
pure chaos.
literally stood by
He
in
even
the
said it.
past and said before, literally justified stealing in the past. The statement that in this very interview, he continues to double down while answering every question completely seriously. That was actually a joke, guys. Hasan,
Yeah.
you lying fucking regard. You specifically state that you would steal from, these sort of rich companies, but
Yep.
not from Zoran Mamdani's government stores, right? Were you joking about that? Or are you
Yeah.
actually trying to have some nuance in your position there? You specifically clarify that you wouldn't steal from like a small business or anything and only rich people because you're such a good guy, right? And you clarify because you're serious. You're not actually joking. Bro, this is that one meme again. I was only pretending to be regarded. So let me guess. The part where you justify murder, that was a joke as well, guys. When you meticulously explain what social murder actually is and why the assassination is understandable and justified,
Right, yeah.
it's all a joke, actually.
is that they did take that joke seriously as well. They don't have a problem with throwing shoplifters in prison. Yeah, I just I don't really give a shit about people stealing from big corporations. Like, people make it seem like
Loss
this is the
of
most
jobs,
consequential
loss of
ethical
businesses.
dilemma. I feel like there's bigger problems that we just don't address. My argument here is just saying I don't do it, and I talk about it in a little bit, or I was like, I can't do it, I can't steal it all. There's no way that I can do it, and personally, I just don't care all that much.
Yeah, 'cause
I feel
you
like
have
there
money.
are larger systemic problems at play here. Theft is ripping apart the social contract. And it happens
you don't care.
as a consequence of the social contract being ripped apart. Things like that happen. I wrote about this on the New York Times, ironically enough, in the aftermath of Charlie Kirk's assassination.
Oh, God.
But these kinds of violent actions are born out of the unlimited violence that we dish out, our culture of ultra violence, but then also
Dude,
they happen all the goddamn time
culture
because
violence.
people are losing their minds, because people are just like, this doesn't work anymore. Because here is
Dude,
the
you're so
framework, right?
stupid.
The rich don't play by the rules, so why should I? My point is, the
You're the
rich don't
rich.
play by the rules. We should focus on that.
You
That's always
are
my
the
point,
rich.
right? And people only focus on the why should I part.
Dude,
And it's like,
you're the
I
rich.
personally follow the rules. I'm always following the rules. I mean,
No,
there are
you're
certain
not.
instances where I think the rules are silly and stupid, like IP, patents, whatever. But for the most part, I follow the rules.
Of course. So Hasan goes, it's a joke, guys. But also, this is why the joke is true. I can't with this fucking guy, bro. Says
So
something completely
stupid.
unhinged, gets backlash. It's actually a joke. I was just joking all the time. But wait, I was actually right as well. And this is why I was right. And this is why it's not a joke. By the way, I love the Hasan Piker chat because they really just have the best takes. So they pointed out that, these guys are so unhinged, they're okay with throwing shoplifters in prison. I mean, if you steal, you should go to jail. I mean, what the fuck? Like, that's not a controversial take. He's like, look at these savages. Look at these absolute barbarians. They want to throw shoplifters in prison. Yeah, man, it's all okay until somebody steals from you, right? Oh, you can steal from that guy and that guy and that other guy. But when somebody breaks into your home, takes your fucking iPad, your iPhone or whatever, or steals your food, then suddenly, let me call the police. Let me call the fascist Nazi police, right? To hunt down this fucking
There you
dude
go.
who stole from my house. The amount of hypocrisy is just insane from these people.
Yeah.
Now click this video because chances are you're happier than Diddy Piker here, and that's a reason to smile.
Oh my god. But yeah, that is another great More Pegasus video. Go check him out and give him a follow. Yeah, it is awesome to see more and more people calling for either the arrest or deportation of Hasan Piker. It's going to be great. It's going to be great when either one of those actually happens, but to be honest, I don't think it would. I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. But at the same time, you never know. You really never know. So make sure you guys go check out w.gg and use my code TacticalGaming90 for 10% off. Have a good one, guys. Later.